All right. So you and FI, how long did you stay with them?
So I was with them for a little bit over a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't last long.
No, I was like, I got what I needed out of it. And I got a better opportunity.
Okay.
So I got an opportunity to work for a cold chain logistics brokerage. They're in Jersey somewhere. I won't be too specific.
Gotcha.
And I was so excited. I was hype.
Right.
I was hyped because, again, they were like, oh, I'm sorry, we can't hire, you don't have a degree. I was like, listen, I pleaded my case. I went in like ready, prepared.
Gotcha.
And
how'd you find this job? Just searching?
Yeah, they found me on LinkedIn.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so the recruiter was awesome and the process was great. And then they offered me my salary and I was like, oh no, I did the research. In South Jersey, this is, comparable rates. And I know I don't have a degree, but no, that was the first time I actually spoke up for myself. And I was like, oh, I bring way too much to the table to be making this amount of money.
Right.
And it was commission-based too.
Okay.
But I needed my base salary to be where I was comfortable at. So commissions were just extra.
Got you.
And I negotiated with them.
That was your first.
Yes. And it was a win. I was
right.
Okay. I can do this.
That's what made you fall in love with it right there.
Oh my goodness. I felt so good. I felt so proud of myself, especially because I was, again, the only Black person in there.
Right.
But they were like, we normally don't hire people entry level at this rate.
Yeah, because you're really the underdog because it's like you don't have the college education that they're asking for.
I didn't have the experience.
You didn't have the experience they're looking for. And
I was Black.
Right.
And a woman.
Yeah, and you're still able to negotiate. How'd you do it?
I pled my case and I came with the facts. I left emotion out of it and I talked straight to them. And that's how I do with my customers now. And it's that one win, it changed the game. It changed the game. I still wasn't thinking entrepreneurial mindset at that point. I was just thinking, okay, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to kill it.
Right.
And I went in there and I killed it.
Right.
I killed it. I was like, they were really surprised that this young lady that's never been a broker agent before was able to handle these customers, handle this freight the way I handled the carriers, because again, most of our carriers were minorities and there was so when they got off the line, they'd be like, oh, he Jamaican. I'm like,
he's like, what do you mean Jamaican? I'll talk to him, no problem.
Yeah, so I call him, I'd be like, hey, where going? Yeah, where going? Yeah, and talk right to him.
For the friend, we got it for you.
Like, yeah, this is patois. Okay. And I'd be right in there. Right. We'd build a relationship. And now that carrier was, when things got tough and those rates changed, he was riding for me because we had the relationship.
Right.
So that's where I understood the power of negotiation and then the power of building relationships, especially with the carriers.
Got you.
Brokers forget that relationship is one of the customer relationships are important as well.
Right.
But that carrier relationship is the most important relationship as a broker. And I learned that from being a broker agent.
How long did it take you to get over, because you're still fairly new in this industry. So when did you make that connection, that click that you can actually prosper and do your thing in this industry?
So as a broker agent, my first month, I did so well that I asked them, could I start making commission before the 90 days? I was like, listen, I'm making you guys a lot of money.
Do you know what the numbers were? Do you remember?
I think it was I want to say my first month was $340,000. It was money, but it wasn't anything of what I would build to.
Right.
And I was just so excited.
You just came in hitting the ground running.
I hit the ground running. I didn't even know how to work the system. I was just figuring it out. I would go home and I would sit and I would go through the system because I understood that I had to show up 10 times better than everyone else in that office.
Right.
They still gave me a hard time.
Right.
They still told those good old boy jokes. They still, there's a hierarchy in logistics that even, with Black people, but with white people, there's even a hierarchy.
Right.
From corporate and the men that were account managers and the women that were account managers, they're not their equals. They're getting them coffee, getting them lunch. And I'm like, y'all do the same role. You make $30,000 less a year. How is this okay?
Right.
So I started seeing more of the old mindsets in logistics and I didn't enjoy it. I was like, you know what? This is not gonna work for me.
Right.
They offered me an account manager role and I was like, nah, I can't. My son had started having some health issues and I was like, my child is, important to me. I can't. And they were like, what? Your child? I'm like, for them, logistics is everything. over family. For me, family is everything.
Right.
I'm doing this so that I could leave a legacy for my family. And so my family my children, they'll never go through what I went through as a child. And that's why I showed up every day. That's why I grinded so hard. Why I dealt with so much racism, so much sexism, because I understood that this was just a part of the journey. It was another step. And once I got over this step, I didn't know what was on the other side.
Right.
But I knew it was something.
Right.
So
yeah, no, the industry is extremely thankless. I mean, you're only good as the last load. Right? That's what they say. And that's absolutely true. And anybody who gets into this industry will quickly learn that.
But I will say, I learned a lot from them. I learned how to navigate difficult situations. I learned how to sit at a table with a bunch of people that weren't like me and join in on their conversation. I learned how to be relatable, right? Even though I don't like Garth Brooks, right? But I learned to, Garth Brooks, yeah. Right. I learned to be relatable so that I could get the business with the customers. And for our dedicated lanes, most of our carriers were white.
Right.
So I had to be able to, because of course they get the good freight, right? That's something that people don't talk about. We know who gets the last minute spot lane work where we're trying to nickel and dime you and get 30% off the margin. Right. But we know who gets the real rates where it's, we'll just make 10% on it because, John and Joe have been working with our family company for a long time.
Right.
And so I had to navigate both. So I learned those skills there.